In the last section, we replaced our icon add with icon clear. I'm going to revert this back over to icons.add again, because it's definitely the actual icon we want to show inside of here. We want that plus icon. Okay, so now our application looks pretty good. We've got the app bar at the top, and we've got our floating action button at the bottom right-hand side. But there's two little issues I want to point out with our current application, at least as far as the source code goes. Right now, all of our app logic, or everything that contains the information about what we want to display on the screen, is all contained within our main function. As you might imagine, this is not how we normally design Flutter applications. Traditionally, we'll create separate files inside of our lib directory, and each separate file will contain one widget that you and I will put together. So I think that we should start thinking about how we might extract all of this logic from the main function right here into a new separate file. And that separate file will contain a widget that you and I are going to put together, whose sole purpose is to show all these other widgets. So to get started, I'm going to first create a new directory inside of my lib folder called src, short for source. Then inside the src directory, I'll make a new file called app.dart. So inside this file, we're going to create a new custom widget called the app widget. And that app widget is going to have the sole purpose for right now of showing all these other widgets that we just added to our main function. Now this is the first time that we've created our own custom widget. Up to this point, we've been reusing all these other widgets that are implemented by Flutter. So to guide us in putting together our first custom widget, we're going to write out a couple of different comments. So the first thing we need to do inside of here is import Flutter helper library. Essentially, this is the same thing that we just did inside of main.dart. We're going to add an import statement for that material.dart file. After that, we're going to create a class that will be our custom widget. Now this is kind of a two-parter. We're going to create a class that's going to be our custom widget, and one special requirement of that class is that we have to extend. Let's actually kind of write out the full comment here. We'll say this class must extend the stateless widget base class. So we'll talk about what that means in just a moment, but for right now, let's just leave that comment in. Then inside of our actual class definition, the only requirement that we have is that we must define a build method that returns the widgets that this widget will show. Okay, so that's our three big items. Well, let's get started right now with item number 1 at the top, because we pretty much already know how to take care of this one. So underneath the first comment, I'm going to add in my import statement. Now we're importing a package, we're importing a third-party library, so we're going to write out the word package. Then we'll write out the library that we're trying to import, which is Flutter, and then the name of the file that we want to import, which is material.dart. Okay, so that was the easy part. Now let's take a quick pause right here. We're going to come back to the next section, and we'll have a quick discussion on what all this extending the stateless widget-based class means. So quick break, and I'll see you in just a minute.